Somebody once said, because you got to have faith. You got to have faith. How do you get faith? Well, we're going to talk about that right now on A Spiritual Remedy.
It's a spiritual remedy, a deep internal peace from the bondage of the self. I have found my sweet release. It affirms the life I'm living. It's the truth within my soul.
Welcome to A Spiritual Remedy, beloveds. My name is Sunshine Daye, and every week we spend a few minutes spiritually recalibrating, not by looking outside of ourselves, but by awakening to that indwelling presence already living as us. Today, I come to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. Now, this month, we've talked about our nervous system. We've talked about control. We've talked about uncertainty. And today, I want to leave you with something I hope you'll remember long after this episode ends. And I do that by asking you this question. Could it be that faith isn't something we have, but instead that it's something that we have to practice? Now, years ago, I thought faith meant waiting for something spectacular and amazing to happen. Today, I know something different. Faith is how I greet the morning. Like every single morning before my feet hit the floor, I smile and I say to myself, it's a great day to be alive. Not because I know what's going to happen, but because I'm practicing agreeing with life. Yeah, agreeing with life, like allowing life to happen. Now, I'm reminding myself that life is for me and it is never against me. Here's how I mean that. Recently, I sold my home and I needed a place to stay for about a month. And, I had a few considerations. Now, if you ever bought and sold a house at the same time, you know that that's enough to make anybody's stomach do somersaults. At least mine was doing somersault. And I had looked at some possibilities because I needed a spot to stay just for about a month, but nothing felt quite right. Then one day, a neighbor that I hadn't seen in several months, she stopped to congratulate me. And in the middle of our conversation, she told me how she was moving her mother closer to her in Northern California and that her mother's unit was now going to be a short-term rental. Immediately, something inside of me just got still. And I smiled and I said, well, I happen to need a place for about a month. And she smiled back at me and she said, Sunshine, I would love to rent to you. Now, I don't tell you that story because life always unfolds exactly the way we want it to. I tell you that story because faith had already become my daily practice. And I wasn't trying to force an answer. I was becoming available to the answer and to an answer. So here's today's spiritual remedy. Practice faith before you think you need it. Like, don't wait until life becomes difficult to begin trusting life. Practice today. Smile at a stranger. Take a deep breath before you answer the phone. Notice the beauty around you. Trust that life is for you. And then when you catch yourself trying to hurry and answer, frost. Fully rely on Spirit's timing. Beloved, faith shows up in the smallest things. And sometimes I find the perfect parking place, not because Spirit or because life is my personal parking attendant, even though I think and feel that way a lot of times, but because the ordinary moments become an opportunity to notice how life supports life. And every moment becomes a spiritual practice. Every breath, every conversation, every decision, every waiting period, every beginning, every ending. So this week, I am inviting you into one simple practice. The moment you wake up tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone or your honey, place your hand on your heart and take a slow breath. Smile and say, it's a great day to be alive. And then ask, who must I be today? And listen quietly. And then go live that answer. Go live that answer. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And if a spiritual remedy blesses your journey, share it with somebody else that you love, because together we can remind each other that the power that we've been seeking all along has been inside of us.
Found a spiritual remedy and the joy is real. Just surrender to the power, let it live as you. Everything you wanted finally coming true.